Hi there and welcome. Today I will show you how you can make yourself a mug. Really easy, just by using clay. I use the pinch pot technique and it's really easy and fun and you can make many different things by pinching. The clay I use is a stoneware clay and I will burn it twice. First a bisque fire and after that with a glazing. When you make a mug or a cup, it's important that the walls are the same thickness and don't leave the rim too thick because it doesn't feel nice if you want to drink from that. So the rim should be quite thin. As you can see now, I started just by using my thumb and my hand, but after that I made the hole big enough so I can fit 2 or 3 fingers inside and this way feel the thickness of the walls. I cut the rim and I try to keep my hand steady so that the rim is on the same height all the way through. This mug is going to have feet and a small tail, so it will look a little bit like a troll. In Swedish, when you take the second cup of coffee, it's called påtår, and if you translate it straight away, it means on the toes. But it could also be on the go. So this is my påtår on toes mug. The toes and the tail will also, of course, help keep this mug standing. Otherwise, it would just tip over when you fill it with coffee or tea. One other thing that you have to think about when you make something to eat or drink from is that the glaze you use should be meant for food. Some glazes are just meant for decoration, so keep that in mind and take a look at your glazing before you glaze the things. It's now time to make the feet and the toes, and I try to make them from one single piece. You could of course also make shoes or something else, but it's important that you have something to keep the mug steady. This stoneware clay that I'm using today has a lot of grog in it, so I have to be a little bit careful when it's all done because it might also work as sanding paper if you turn your mug around on the table too much, and that's not really good for the table. So bear that in mind. Don't use a clay that has too much grog in it, or then you have to put something underneath to not ruin your table. As you can see, the first foot is done and I'm working on the second one. And after that, it's time to make the tail. You could of course just leave it like this with 2 feet, or then you could flatten out the surface of the mug so it stands properly on the table, but I think this is kind of nice. And by using different glazes, you get many different effects. By building the same mug, they look really different anyway. So now I place them more or less like in a triangle and flatten them out so that they are the same height. And after that, I use a little bit of water, I score, and then I attach my mug. It's also good to put a little bit of slip underneath. By pressing from the inside, I make it stick really well. I want to make my feet a little bit hairy, like on a hobbit. So I use a small needle tool and just draw them on. You can also see that the rim is not really perfect yet, but I will leave it to dry a little bit and then make it a little bit thinner and smoother. And after that, it's time to leave it to dry, bisque fire it, and after that, I will choose my glazing. This mug is almost done. Some small adjustments, and then I will just leave it to dry. And after that, I will bisque fire it. This mug is now done, and I have already bisque fired it. So it's time to choose the glaze. And I chose this almost black because I want my coffee black. You probably don't know, but us Finns, we actually drink most coffee in the whole world. We drink more than 12 kilos of coffee a year per person. So that's kind of a fun fact. I glaze my mug and I'm careful not to put glazing underneath the feet, otherwise it will stick into the kiln. And this is now the ready-made mug with just water in it, not coffee this time. But it will actually be a great mug for coffee too. The design on the mug and the glazing is something that you can change as much as you want. So this is just one of the mugs that I made, and here are two others. In this one I just used oxides, and the second one glazing and oxides. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I inspired you to make yourself some mugs. Bye bye.